get through typing this stuff out
and not realize they're the asshole.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah and I'm a 25-year-old musician living in New York City, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for this channel. I kind of went back and forth a little bit on if I wanted to make this video because it isn't really like the other content I made, but basically today I'm going to be responding to Am I the Asshole on Reddit. If you're not familiar with that, it is a section of Reddit where people submit their questions about if they were in the wrong in a certain situation, and then people in the comments let them know if they were or were not the asshole. And Ross is here. Oops. I'm sorry. Ross is here. He's gonna do this with me because I thought it would be more fun with two perspectives. And also, he has a channel of his own. I'm gonna put a card here, and it will be linked in the description, so go check him out. I do need to say that this is not an original idea. I first saw this on Savannah Smiles' channel, and I just thought it was a really fun video, but she also said in her video that she was inspired by r/, who I've never heard of, and I don't know how. He has about 2 million subscribers, but his whole channel is responding to Reddit. So if you're into this, definitely go check him out. Her video and his channel will be linked in the description as well. So let's get right into it. We haven't read any of these stories in advance, so honestly, I would imagine I'm probably gonna read a couple that aren't that interesting and we'll have to cut them out of the video. But let's do it. AITA, or Am I the Asshole, for telling my boyfriend's coworker that we're not married. I've been with boyfriend for about 5 years. We live together. He does not want to get married, which I'm fine with now, but it was a point of contention early on in our relationship. Boyfriend was talking to coworker on Zoom when I brought him some coffee. Coworker said something like, "So this is the lovely wife I've heard so much about." I said something like, "Thanks, but we're not married." He said, "Oh, boyfriend always calls you his wife," and then introduced himself. I introduced myself, then ended the conversation and left as quickly as I could while still being polite because both boyfriend and coworker were giving me a weird vibe. A little while later, boyfriend came out of the office and asked, "What was that?" I didn't know what he meant, so I asked, "What was what?" Boyfriend then said there was absolutely no need for me to correct coworker and it's better if people think I'm his wife. I said I'm not his wife, I'm his girlfriend, and he never told me that he told other people that I'm his wife. This somehow becomes an argument, with my side being that boyfriend never told me that his coworkers think we're married, and boyfriend's side being that I should have figured that being called his wife indicated that coworker thought I was his wife and I shouldn't have corrected him. And when I said I thought he'd just made an assumption, boyfriend said that wasn't the point. The point was that there was no need to correct him, that it was rude, and that it made my boyfriend look like a bad word. He then said that the solution to this is that when he next has a video call with coworker, he wants me to come in again, strike up a conversation, and say that I was messing with him. And the boyfriend is actually husband, and us not being married is an inside joke I thought coworker was in on. I then said that was the dumbest plan he'd ever come up with, and no way am I doing that. And he said I was being an asshole, that I got him into this, and now I have to bail him out. Am I the asshole?
I think boyfriend got himself into that one. Why would you call somebody your wife without having, like, if they don't know you're doing that, that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. And I don't understand why he needs to lie about that anyway. I guess some people are old-fashioned and, like, might not be down with them living together if they're not married, but honestly, this is the 21st century.
Yeah.
But, okay, if he was going to do that, he should have at least filled her in, right?
Yeah, that's weird. You'd get so just taken aback if someone was like, "Oh yeah, you're married," and it's like, what?
Yeah, she is in no way in the wrong for correcting that person, especially when she didn't know that she was supposed to be lying about it. And what is this whole, I'm confused by this whole convoluted plan. When he next has a video call with coworker, he wants me to come in again, strike up a conversation, and say that I was messing with him, and the boyfriend is actually my husband, and us not being married is an inside joke. That doesn't make any sense. That's so stupid.
Sounds like a lame attempt to cover something up.
Assuming the coworker is not a total idiot. No, she's not the asshole. Boyfriend is. Boyfriend definitely is. Let's look at some of these comments. So the first comment here says, not the asshole, that is so shady and it feels like there's a lot more going on. If you're not married, he doesn't get the perks and that includes calling you his wife.
Yep.
Ooh. The boyfriend is clearly trying to avoid the potential pitfalls of marriage while still trying to reap the benefits of being called married. Someone should tell him that common law marriage is a thing and see his reaction. Sometimes people assume that Ross and I are married, and I don't always correct them because sometimes it's just not necessary. Like, it's somebody we don't see that often, or, you know, it's not like the topic of conversation. And usually we just let that go, but I've never told somebody that we're married.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. Boyfriend's weird. Am I the asshole for telling my stepdaughter that she isn't allowed to order food when we go to restaurants anymore? Okay, just reading the title, probably, but let's see. This sounds bad, but hear me out. My stepdaughter is an absolute pain in the neck when it comes to food. She has legitimate and not mild allergies, but most of them aren't common things. So every single meal at a restaurant, no matter what she would get, would need several modifications. With so many special requests, something is always going to be wrong. I understand that. My wife understands that, and probably on some level she does too. But it is an entire event every time. She ends up acting like the restaurant is personally trying to kill her. She of course has to send it back, but spirals into a breakdown and won't eat whatever they bring back anyway because it isn't safe, regardless of what the truth is anymore. It makes the entire meal a nightmare for everyone, including the restaurant workers. The younger kids end up having their food go cold because they can't eat with the drama going on and they don't know what to do. I finally broke and told her and my wife while we were all together as a family that she would just have to stop getting food when we went out and that she needs to wait until we get home. Restaurants don't like having people bring outside food. I think it's really rude anyway, and she just eats later at home anyway due to these episodes. Not only that, but it is expensive as hell for her to do this. Basic meals that would comply are already not cheap, and it creates so much food waste, which I absolutely hate. My wife says that I don't understand what it's like to have to navigate food when you can't just deal with it like everyone else, and a slight mistake can land you in the hospital, and that this makes her feel like she's less than and not part of the family. I just want to stop wasting money and food and have more quiet meals?
Your child is trying to eat, sir.
Listen to your wife, my guy.
Oof, that one's really bad.
That's really bad.
Definitely the
Yeah, I feel like I don't even need to say that. Like, everyone watching this probably just has their mouth on the floor right now. Put yourself in your child's position, sir. You go to a restaurant. You have obscure food allergies that they might not know how to handle. And you're scared to eat because it could land you in the hospital or dead. Your solution is to tell your child that she can't have food at restaurants because she makes a scene. The fact that some people can get through typing this stuff out
and not realize they're the
it sounds like too that he doesn't mean his family is going to stop eating at restaurants. That might be a different situation. But it seems like you're gonna take your poor kid to a restaurant and just make her watch everybody else eat.
Enjoy their food.
I'm glad you're not my father. She ends up acting like the restaurant is personally trying to kill her. She of course has to send it back, but spirals into a breakdown and won't eat whatever they bring back because it isn't safe regardless of what the truth is. She doesn't know what the truth is. That's the problem. You don't know if you can trust restaurants all the time. Not even because they're purposely trying to kill her or being malicious, but they might just screw up. If a food is potentially going to kill you, I understand why you're wary. I'm really worked up about this one. Oh my god. Let's look at the comments. You're the asshole. Are you effing kidding me? Girl has legit food allergies which could kill her, and rather than taking the time to review publicly available allergen information on restaurant websites, calling in advance, or finding a restaurant that can accommodate her, your solution is that she sit there and watch everyone eat. She didn't choose to have food allergies or the resultant anxiety around it. You, however, are choosing to be a monumental asshole. Edit. I have kids with the opposite food allergies. There's literally 3 restaurants we frequent as a family because I would never put either of them in this situation. And one of those restaurants is an hour away with no parking, but it's top 8 free and they can order anything at all with complete peace of mind. Yes. Find a restaurant that your child can eat at. Alright, we're gonna do one more, and I think this is gonna be a good one. Am I the asshole for calling out my niece's excuse for wearing a thong around the house when she was staying over with us? My niece, 19, is staying with us for a few weeks while her parents figure out some family stuff. Typically, a 19-year-old would stay alone, but for good reason. Her parents, my husband's sister, and brother-in-law don't trust her. I have 22 and 17-year-old daughters, so I'm acutely aware of the kind of trouble girls get into at this age. After the first couple of days of being polite, I suppose, she started to push boundaries. She wore a really low-riding jean shorts with an obvious thong sticking out, and I initially held my tongue. I would never let my daughters dress like that around the house. When she continued to do it, I said, and I quote, "While it's not my place to tell you what to wear outside, when you're with us, please make sure you're wearing something that covers up a little more," pointing to her back. I thought she listened, but she only redoubled her efforts and even said that she wears them because they're comfortable and told me to take a chill pill. I called her out and said we were all 20 years old once, and with 2 daughters, I can tell her that no one thinks that they're the most comfortable thing. You're wearing them to feel sexy, and that's great, but let's be respectful. Unfortunately, she took this the wrong way and blew up her parents' phone, telling me I was controlling, and she wanted her parents to pay for a hotel room. They obviously refused. Now she's in her room the whole time and refuses to talk to me. Am I the asshole here? And I'll note that I didn't even call her out on her wearing obviously low-cut revealing tops and a lack of bra basically all the time because I figured I picked my battles. You're the asshole, sir. The part where he says, I thought she'd listen, but she only redoubled her efforts and even said that she wears them because they're comfortable and told me to take a chill pill. I called her out and said we were all 20 years old, and with 2 daughters, I can tell her that no one thinks they're the most comfortable thing.
Daughters do not speak for the entire
I want to know if he's
population
ever
of
worn a
women.
thong. Yeah, and okay, why are you talking to your 20-year-old daughter about her underwear preferences? And the fact that this man is just calling out his niece over her attire, his 19-year-old niece, just seems a little inappropriate.
And that is controlling. I mean, she is an adult.
Yeah. And okay, I know that she's staying in his house. And her phrasing here doesn't sound the most polite. That take a chill pill and okay, that was literally it.
But like,
Okay, like, I'm not saying that this girl might not be a little bratty, but that's entirely not the point.
if you're not comfortable with someone staying in your house, just tell them they can't stay there. Don't like make them feel bad.
Yeah, it just really freaks me out that this adult man with children this girl's age is like, the fact that he said, I called her out and said we were all 20 years old once, and with 2 daughters, I can tell that no one thinks they're the most comfortable thing. You're wearing them to feel sexy, and that's great, but let's be respectful. Let's look at the comments. There's a really long one right here. You are the asshole. How is it 2021 and we still carry the dumb stereotype that thongs are trouble and only for when women want to feel sexy? Many women wear thongs because they are far more comfortable under tightish pants. They are practical and smart. And by the way, your niece is a woman. She's 19 years old. Get out of her business. 1. Yes, the niece is an adult and she can choose what she wears without being policed by anyone, including the person she's staying with, as long as she's covered. And she clearly is covered. She's wearing pants, for goodness sake. It's fine to be uncomfortable with the top of someone's thong, but here's how you address it. Hey, your underwear is hanging out. Here's how you don't address it. Hey, I know you're 19 and want to feel sexy. We all did at that age, but wear different underwear. Some of you really care about my house, my rules. And sure, OP should be free to live in a house where she doesn't have to see the top of someone's underwear. She? Wait, is OP a woman? Okay, everything I just said is irrelevant about it being a man and it being creepy because OP is a woman and I somehow missed that.
But it's just very anti-feminist. Like,
yeah.
jeez.
that makes it a whole new problem. So scratch the stuff about an adult man looking at his knees that way being creepy. But now...
This is a grown woman shaming another grown woman for her choice of clothing.
Okay, and maybe she has worn a thong. Like, I can tell no one thinks they're the most comfortable thing. But you don't think they're comfortable. She might think they're comfortable. Plenty of people think they're comfortable if you're wearing leggings or tight pants. Like, yeah, ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, back to this person though. And sure, OP should be free to live in a house where she doesn't have to see the top of someone's underwear if that's what she wants. My house, my rules is not an excuse to pass judgment on your guest though, or control what a guest wears. Right, she's a guest. Even if you are uncomfortable, I can't imagine having a guest in my house and commenting on what they're wearing. People are saying that I and other commenters are missing the point. We aren't. We're just paying attention to a point that you don't care about, and that's okay. This is Am I the Asshole? Here's the point as we see it. OP made the entire issue about a judgment on women who wear thongs and projected that onto her guest as a way to address a much smaller issue. So what are these? I want to find one of the comments where they disagree. Not the asshole. Your house, your rules. Niece is not a paying tenant. If your niece doesn't like the rules, she's free to find other accommodations. Not the asshole. Your house, your rules, as is always the majority opinion in this sub, except now for some strange reason. She is an adult who's staying at your house for free. Abide by the rules of the house or leave. She isn't a prisoner. Okay, wait, though. Yes, she's an adult, and I do think this part about how typically a 19-year-old would stay alone, but for good reason, her parents don't trust her. I mean, I'm confused. Yes, she's an adult and she could stay alone, and I guess she could leave, but it seems like she must live with her parents, and her parents want her to stay there. So that's their rules.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of not the assholes. It's fine in your home to request a minimal level of coverage for comfort. If she wants to wear something else, she can stay in her room or go out. The end. It's not a hotel room, it's a home. It's not the public where she can inflict on everyone whatever she wants to be within decency laws. Seems she wants to be free. That's a weird comment. Okay, well, on that note, I think we're gonna wrap this up here. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of these, but specifically about that one. I feel like there's a lot of nuance there, and I'm just really interested to know your opinions. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I make new ones every Saturday. Also, head over to Ross's channel in the description and subscribe to him to watch him paint. And turn on the little bell guy to be notified every time I post. Ooh, what am I gonna say? Something about health.
Live long and prosper.
You know, I always say to like take your vitamins.
Eat some fish to get that omega-3.
Do that. Stay safe and healthy, and I will see you next time.